I'm Tony Van Veen, CEO of Discmakers. Welcome to part 2 of my video series about how to choose the right digital distributor for your music. If you missed part 1, where I talk about the 2 big things that distributors and artists want you to think are important, but which actually aren't, please watch that first. You'll find a link in the description for this video below. Today I actually want to talk to you about the platforms where your distributor will deliver your music content beyond the streaming sites, which can potentially drive extra income from your music. Here, there's some real differences between what each distributor offers. Then, at the end of the video, I'll give you a link to download my digital distribution checklist, which is a checklist of all the points and questions that you should find out or ask your distributor about before deciding who to trust with your music. So, let's roll. To me, one of the most important questions when deciding who to choose for digital distribution is this: in how many ways do they monetize your music? You already know that collecting digital music royalties is a business of fractions of pennies, so you clearly want as many of those fractional pennies to be collected. After all, the more of those pennies your distributor can collect for you, the more money you will make from your music. And not every distributor has the ability to collect royalties for you from every possible money-making channel. Let's start with the basics, the streaming platforms. I talked about this in my last video. Every distributor delivers to all the 24 or so major streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, Tidal, plus some larger regional international ones like Tencent in China and JioSaavn in India. These streaming platforms pay royalties on your sound recordings, and these royalties will, in most cases, make up the bulk of your digital music royalties. But there is another category of royalty opportunities that can be a real difference maker for you. I call them royalty opportunities beyond the sound recording. The first big opportunity to collect royalties other than sound recordings is collecting publishing royalties. Some distributors, like CD Baby and Tunecore, offer publishing administration services, where they register your song with BMI or ASCAP and collect the mechanical royalty for the compositions on top of your sound recording royalty. It's not a ton of money from streaming platforms, but it can add another 10 to 15% on top of the sound recording royalty that you get. So it's not nothing either. And there are quite a few other opportunities to collect mechanical royalties for your compositions from radio play and other areas that could be a plus. Now, you don't need your distributor to do your publishing administration for you. You technically could do it all yourself. But that is a ton of work. And there are a couple of independent publishing administration companies out there that can do this task for you. Songtrust is one of those companies. In fact, of the big 3 digital distributors, Distrokid is the only one that does not offer publishing royalty collection, but they refer you to Songtrust instead. However, for me, when I'm trying to collect the most royalties for the least amount of effort, it's a nice convenience when my distributor offers this. Same with another revenue opportunity, YouTube monetization, where your distributor, in many cases, delivers your songs to YouTube, registers you as the owner so that you can collect royalties when the content that your distributor has put there is played and when others use your music in their videos. Again, you do not need your distributor to do this for you, but it sure is convenient when they can, especially if they don't charge an extra setup charge for it. Technically, the YouTube royalty is neither on the sound recording nor on the publishing. It's a sync license because it synchronizes your sound with video. But since the payouts are so tiny, it's commonly called microsync. Now, YouTube pays royalties when your music is in a video on a channel that monetizes, which means that there are paid ads on the video that includes your song, and a piece of those paid ad royalties will come to you as a royalty for your music being in that video. Of course, there are also a ton of YouTube videos that don't monetize when played because they're not on a paid monetizing channel. Now, YouTube royalties are tiny, where the sound recording royalty from one Spotify stream is about 0.3 of a penny, at least it is for me. The royalty from one paid YouTube view is around 5/100ths of a penny. But while YouTube pays the lowest royalty of all the DSPs, their usage is so huge, their plays are so massive that the total dollars can add up. I don't know if you noticed in the last video that I posted about this, that for my music, YouTube was a solid number 3 in royalty collections after Spotify and Apple Music, and about triple the royalty that I got from number 4, Amazon. As far as which distributors offer YouTube monetization, all 3 of the big guys offer this service today. The next royalty opportunity offered by some distributors is social media. With the popularity of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, you'll want your distributor to deliver your content to those social media platforms and collect any royalties that come from it. Now today, those royalties don't amount to anything, pretty much. Mostly because the royalty rates and administration are still being worked out between the social platforms and the rights holders, but at some point it could be worth something. I think in general that you want your music to be on these platforms because this is where a lot of music discovery takes place, even if there's no royalty to speak of being paid at this point. And as of this recording, Distrokid, CD Baby, and Tunecore are all able to deliver your music to the social platforms and collect any royalties owed to you. By the way, I know all these different copyrights and royalties for music can be confusing. If you're not 100% up on the difference between copyrights on sound recordings and publishing and neighboring rights and public performance and synchronization, you should really check out my video series called The Basics of Music Copyrights and Royalties. I'll drop another link in the description below. Now, in addition to the royalty opportunities I just mentioned for publishing YouTube and social media, some distributors offer what I guess I would call premium revenue opportunities. Synchronization or sync licensing is one of them. This is where the distributor has their own music library or connects you with a music library or is partnered, where music supervisors can search for and license your music for use in a movie or in a TV show or an online game or a commercial. It's a cool service that can generate nice revenue depending on the placement that you get. For example, CD Baby, who has a robust sync program, has many sync placements for 5 figures, i.e. over $10,000 for the placement, and tons of smaller placements. Besides sync, there are some distributors that promise other ways to monetize or gain visibility for your music. For example, United Masters says they have a partnership with the NBA and State Farm. It sounds good, but what does that mean for you? Quite possibly nothing, but who knows? Now, it's probably obvious that services like sync licensing or these partnerships are a bit like a lottery ticket. They sound attractive to most artists, but in reality, a very tiny few artists will actually benefit from them. So while it's good to know that the distributors you're looking at are offering these extra opportunities, and it's worth trying them if you're already inclined to use that distributor, I would not recommend basing your distributor decision on these lottery ticket programs. Now, here's a really important point. The distributors won't advertise this, but many of the enhanced services I just mentioned come at an extra cost that they kind of try to hide from you. For example, Tunecore advertises that they do not charge commissions on sound recording royalties, but if you opt in for their publishing administration service, they do charge $75 extra per writer, and they take a 15% commission on your publishing royalties. Distrokid also touts that they don't take a cut of your sound recording royalties, but they do take 20% of any YouTube royalties you get. And CD Baby tells you that they take a 9% cut of your sound recording royalties, but if you sign up for their YouTube and publishing administration programs, they take a larger cut. Now, I'm not saying that these distributors are not entitled to get paid for the work they do. They absolutely are. And the convenience of having your distributor collect YouTube and publishing and sync royalties on your behalf is actually worth paying for. But my point is that when you're shopping around for a distributor, make sure that you check exactly what they charge for each of the extra services that they try to market to you. You need to know. Okay, so Hopefully you found today's look at distributor services and all the types of royalties they can collect for you helpful. But before you stop watching, let me give you the link that I promised for you to download my digital distribution checklist. You can get this checklist with, believe it or not, 59 questions to check when you're trying to pick the perfect distributor. I've designed it, here, check this out, so that you can easily check which of these items are important to you, and then you can check whether your distributor offers them or not. It makes finding the right distributor for your music a piece of cake. To download this printable PDF, just go to discmakers.com/DD checklist. Now, next week will be my final video in this series, and I think it's going to be a really exciting one because I will discuss some of the most important factors in making your distributor decision. We'll talk money. When do they pay you? How do they pay you? We'll talk support and ease of use. We'll talk about artist data and dashboards. And we'll talk about what kind of creator services and promo tools your distributor might offer. You won't want to miss it. I hope to see you there.